Hello and welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and I am here today with the Virgo season reading for the collective. Better late than never. If y'all have been around, you know that I usually do these readings on the first day of a new astrological season. But on the first day of Virgo season, I was traveling, I was with family, I didn't have any space to be alone to do this reading. And then when I got back, I had kind of lost my voice. So I had to take a second, but we're here. I'm sorry to Virgo energy. I know you like things exactly as they are supposed to be, but Virgo is also the energy of the healer, so we got to tend to the body. We're here now. If you have not caught these readings before, I do the same 6 questions in the same order every time, and the cards have been pre-shuffled over, pre-prayed over, and they fall where they fall. The message comes out for the people it is meant for, so take it if it's for you. I'm really excited about this reading because it's for a very particular person, and I hope that it is for you. I hope that this is beneficial for you. If you see me looking around, it's because I'm live in 2 places at once. Thank you if you're watching here on Instagram. Thank you if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you if you're listening on the podcast. Wherever you are in time and space, I'm excited that we are together. We have new cards, some cards that we haven't gotten in a long time in this reading, and that always makes me excited because sometimes we get the same cards for a few months in a row, and that shows me like we're not really moving on some of the issues. So we have some new cards, and that excites me. I think some things are shifting for folks. So we're going to just jump right into this reading, and we always start with what's the energy right now? What's going on right now? And the first card that came up is seeing the true you. And this card suggests that right now you are struggling to see yourself accurately because you're putting way too much focus and attention on how you think other people see you. Sometimes we believe what other people tell us we are, as though the self that we see reflected back to us through others is the truth. It's not. We have to understand that the accuracy of a reflection depends upon the clarity of the surface doing the reflecting, right? If you see yourself in a funhouse mirror, that's not the truth. When you see yourself in your front-facing camera, that is not the truth. When you see yourself through a muddy pond or foggy glass, that's not the truth, right? The person looking at us has their own opinions and their own perceptions about us, and that's what they're reflecting back to us. So it is at best a distortion. And it doesn't even mean it's ill will. That's just how things work, right? Even the moon reflects the sun with varying degrees of fullness and clarity. So, right now, you're putting too much faith in the reflections other people have of you to the point that you're not really honoring all that you are and all that you're becoming. Straight up, this card says you believe too little of yourself. So there may be some people around you who are able to reflect you more faithfully and show you your greatness and your beauty, and that's wonderful. And then there are other people who are not going to be able to receive and reflect your light back to you. And there's no judgment. Everyone is on their own path, but everyone is reflecting you back to you through their own lens. And we're going to get into this as we go deeper into this reading. I really believe that this reading is for an entrepreneur who has built a little bit of a following. You have a little bit of an audience, and I really feel like what's going on here is that you have a lot of thoughts, feelings, and expectations around what you think your customers want, what you think your audience wants. And you've built this thing up, and now it feels a little bit like a trap. And you're thinking so much about what they want from you that it's making you lose sight of what you want for you. So your goal right now, like if you have people who are friends, close people in your life who are able to show you your beauty, if you have audience members who are like, we love anything you do and we're going to follow you anywhere, great. This isn't even necessarily about haters. Right now, your charge is to learn how to recognize yourself, not through the perception of others, but through how you feel about yourself, how you experience yourself, how you observe yourself with compassion and kindness from within. This is a radical empowerment position. Liberating yourself from any ideas of what other people think about us inherently liberates us from all perfectionism, right? Because all perfectionism is us doing some mind reading about how we think other people see us and the faults we think other people perceive in us, and trying to outsmart them and outwit them and get rid of any perceived faults before anyone can perceive faults. Like, it's all just such gymnastics. This is about liberating yourself from any idea of perfection in order to recognize that you are inherently lovable, inherently valuable. You have so much to offer. What you want for yourself, the way that you see yourself, is the most important truth. That is pure empowerment. Accepting all that you are, working with your strengths, addressing the areas where you need growth and development, being loving and encouraging and nurturing to all that you perceive about yourself. That is a very empowered place. Being like, hey, if you think I'm the best thing ever, that's great. If you think I suck, fine. It actually doesn't matter, because everything that's coming from outside is a distortion. All that matters is how I perceive me. That is the most empowered position that you can be in. That is also about recognizing not just your human self, but your eternal self, the slice of God within you, recognizing that you are part of all that is, that you are divine creation in human form. This is a very challenging spiritual task, right? This is no joke. This requires you to be so strong within yourself, within your own self-love, and within your own self-acceptance, to be able to hold acceptance for yourself and everyone else and all of life, to be able to hold acceptance for everyone's perceptions of you and let everyone have their own opinions. If you've never taken my Boundaries for Business Owners workshop, it's a pay what you can workshop. It starts at $1. I'll link it in the show notes. If you're watching on Instagram, you can comment for it. So if I think it's also in my link in bio, but if you have never taken Boundaries for Business Owners, I talk about intellectual boundaries in that and how important intellectual boundaries are if you have a forward-facing business where you're the face of your brand. And what I mean by intellectual boundaries is I allow other people to have their own opinions about everything, including me. And I don't go over and try to change their opinions. Like, you're allowed to have an opinion that I'm the dumbest person ever. You're allowed to have my opinion, the opinion that I'm a snake oil salesman. You're allowed to have the opinion that my work sucks. And you're also allowed to have the opinion that I'm great. And like, none of those things really affect me. That is a challenging spiritual task, to hold that center. When you have the experience of truly beholding yourself as a slice of divinity, all of the judgment and fear and doubt fall away, because you know yourself to be sacred, and you just allow other people to think what they think and feel what they feel, and you follow what you think and what you feel is right for you. If you are confused about who you are, if you're confused about your actions, if you're confused about where you're headed based on what other people are saying or how they're responding to you right now, you need to take a step back. And as we go through this reading, this is about the growth of your business. This is about what you want, where you want to head, the moves you want to make. Again, this feeling that the person that this reading is for, you're really putting a lot of stake in what you think other people want from you, and it's pulling you away from your own path and what you really want for yourself. And you just need to take a step back. And some of this is because you're an empathetic, compassionate, responsible person. And because you care what other people think and you want other people to feel good and valued, you may be unintentionally taking on the feelings of others and making their reflections of you more important than your own perceptions of yourself. So right now, you need to remember that reflections are much more about the state of the reflector than what is being reflected. Other people's opinions say more about them than they say about you. It is time for you to break any contract you have ever made with others, consciously or unconsciously, that has given them power over you. Power over your sense of self, the authority to approve or reject you or anything about you, including your voice, your body, your creativity, your spirituality, your work, your way of living. It is time for you to choose to directly perceive your own inner beauty and worthiness, to turn within with kindness and compassion, and see yourself and your path through the eyes of unconditional love. So that's what's going on right now. There is somebody out there who, like, you want to change something in your business, you want to grow, you want to pivot, you want to do something else, or you're feeling stuck. And the thing that's making you feel stuck is that you've built some success and now you're like, I have to do what everyone else wants to maintain this success or I'm fucked. You're feeling a little trapped by your own success right now. That's who this is for. So, what is the block for you fully seeing and approving of yourself? The block is focus on the light. This card very specifically talks about service-oriented businesses. This card talks about staying focused on your pure heart and intention, about allowing things to happen of their own accord without making anything mean anything too personal. So, what this card talks about is how a business can become very successful financially, right? We start this spiritual or this service-oriented business from a desire to do good work, a desire to help people, a desire to create beauty, and then the business starts to take off. It starts to become successful financially, to gain commercial power. And that can be used to help amplify the message and do your world-changing work. But it can also distort the original purpose of the business, especially if this was your first time getting some success. Maybe you have more money than you've ever had. Maybe you have more eyes on you than you've ever had. And that can start to shift your focus, right? It can start to become about your ego rather than promoting the agenda of healing or the agenda of the heart. And the ego is not the enemy. The ego is not a bad thing, right? But it can suddenly become about something different. It can become about power. It can become about needing to stay on top and maintain this position. It can become about needing to impress people. It can turn into this feeling of scarcity and fear that, like, okay, now I've got success, but what if I lose everything? What if I really like kept being creative and doing things the way that I wanted to do them? I would lose all the progress that I've made. And now I have more to lose than I've ever had before. Success can be this powerful mirror that shines like a searchlight on what is already within you that you may not have known was within you because it might have taken the success to reveal these insecurities. This situation can either sow the seeds of the destruction of your business or your venture, or it can be the opportunity to do this shadow work, to work on these wounds that are being revealed through the light of success. This is an opportunity because when you do this healing work, when you go, oh, okay, now that I have something to lose, all of a sudden, here's all of these things I didn't know I needed to address. When you do that healing, you can help even more people. You can be even more successful. But the only way you can do that is to course correct. And the course correction in this situation is to return to the heart of why you started your business in the first place. You have to get back to the pure intention, the original motivation for your work, rather than focusing on money or influence or maintaining what you've built. So you see now why I said this current situation, I think this person is like, okay, I've built up a little bit of a following. I've built up some clout. I've built up some success. There's money coming in. And now I feel like I have to keep doing things this way or everything's going to fall apart. I'm so worried about disappointing all of these people who now want something from me that I'm losing the plot of the passion for why I started this thing to begin with. And this is not because money or influence are bad things. I want to be very clear. Money is not bad and influence is not bad. However, the focus on the money, the focus on the influence, the focus on pleasing other people are a totally different vibration than the energy that started your work, which was pure passion and love for the thing that you do and desire to help your people. It's just a different energetic. And in this case, because this is showing up in the position of a block, what's contributing to your struggling to see yourself clearly, you're getting lost in the sauce of your own success and what you think your clients, your investors, your followers, your fans want from you versus what you want from yourself. I'm very specifically feeling that this reading is for someone who's like, you're doing pretty good. Like from the outside, your business might look pretty good. You've gained some success, But on the inside, you're feeling a little trapped by the success you've created. It actually feels a little scary, like it could topple if you kept doing what you really want to do. This fear that people won't follow you on your next step, this heaviness of what you think the expectations of your audience but I'm not sure where I was in that sentence. You're feeling potentially like misunderstood or like you can no longer pivot or grow. You've lost some of the litheness and momentum and creativity that started your work in the first place because you're now so worried about losing clients, losing money, losing success, losing standing if you were to change things. If you change your message, if you change directions, if you change your product, if you launch something new, if you share your real opinions, there's something that you're scared that, like, if you allowed yourself to do what you really want, you would lose money and you would lose followers. And that now feels even more scary than if you had never built anything to begin with. When you had nothing to lose, you had nothing to lose. But now you've got something to lose. So you have got to return to why you started your work in the first place, the original energy behind why you started your business. You need to re-fall in love with craft. That is the solution here. If you don't do that, your business or your creative project is going to start to change. It's going to lose the luster of the original purpose that made it so attractive and magnetic to people to begin with. When you started, it was because you loved this work and you started with this excitement, this generosity of spirit, this desire to do your sacred work. You're like, I'm going all in on this. But once the mechanics of your business got moving, maybe that became all consuming. And now the energy behind what you're doing is changing. You might even be finding that, like, suddenly you're making less money, you're getting less customers, even though you're not doing anything different. But it's because it's like becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy that the energy has shifted, your focus has shifted. The thing that was magnetic was never even necessarily the offer, it was the energy behind it. It was the creativity behind it. It was the joy you put in behind it. It was the I have nothing to lose behind it. And as you now scramble to figure out what your audience wants because you're making less money and you're trying to give them more of what they want, you're feeling even more stuck and even more stalled. And that is changing the energy even more. And it's becoming this feedback loop. You've got to get back to the original energy that made your business magnetic at the beginning. You have to re-fall in love. You have to re-find your passion for the work. And when you do this, it will create genuine heart-centered success, a win-win energy field for everyone involved, for you, for your customers, for your business, that can be nurtured and expanded as long as you remain focused on the purity of your own original intentions for the work. This oracle says specifically that success of the highest order, not just financially and commercially, but from the heart, is available to you, and it will manifest as a highly valuable offering to the world. This is about a project, a business, an endeavor that you've been building. So you're going to know as I'm talking exactly what I'm talking about in your life. It may be more than one project. You've got to refocus on why you originally started this thing, about what you loved about the work itself so much that it was all you wanted to do, that you wanted to make a career out of it. You can enjoy money. You can enjoy success. You can enjoy the growth of your following, but don't get distracted by it. You need to stay on point with what you create and why, and you need to stay true to yourself. This oracle also says that you might be getting distracted by other paths around you at this time. You're too close to succeeding on the one that you're on now to allow that to happen. You can't dilute your energy by pursuing too many projects. That's going to slow your success down. And the world actually really needs you to shine your light on this one area sooner rather than later. So at another time later, when things are really moving, you can diversify, you can explore other projects. But right now, you really need to double down on this thing that you're working on and know that success is going to, like, this next level of success is going to come in really swiftly. So again, what this is telling me in this block position is that if you're in this place of putting too much stake in what other people are reflecting back to you, you're feeling like you have to do what other people want, you're feeling frustrated, like your business isn't working the way that it used to, you're feeling stuck, you're feeling stalled, You might just start feeling like maybe I should just fully close up shop and start something different, take on other projects, go get a day job, right? Like you might be tempted to put your focus on new things. That's not the solution right now. The solution is to return back to the original essence of your work. Maybe you can do another project later, but not yet. That's not the move right now. Pause for water. Hold on. Okay. So, what is the gift that comes when you return to the original focus of why you started your business? The card we pulled is Heaven Sent. What this card indicates is the experience of a spiritual gift and the message, let yourself be helped. So, this card suggests that you need to trust in the way that things feel and the way that you say things to others without even knowing why. The things you want to give without knowing why you want to give them. This is about trusting yourself not to overthink and not to censor yourself. So, what I'm feeling is that as you return back to the original essence of why you started your business in the first place, and you trust that you're meant to do the thing that you want to do, this pivot, this new step, this next step of what you want, you don't really need to intellectually understand why or how it's going to make sense. You don't really need to worry about what other people are going to think about it or the people you're going to lose. You need to understand that the reason you want to do this thing is that it is a gift for the people who will be on the receiving end of it. So you will, when you do this, when you start giving in this way without even needing to fully understand why you want to do it, you just do it, you're going to receive what feels like a spiritual gift, by which I mean offers, windfalls of money, opportunities, remarkable healing in your business or your relationships. It's going to be like suddenly all of these things that have been feeling really difficult are going to be like all green lights. Like everything's going to start working again. It's going to be a whoosh of everything that was feeling stuck and stalled out just starts to move. But that's also because you are being a gift to others. When you are on your true path, when you're letting go of worrying about what you think other people want from you and trying to people please and trying to accommodate, and you just tap back into your vision, your passion, your gift, what you really want to do in the world, you are a gift to others. You are allowing yourself to be a vessel through which the spiritual gifts that you have received can be passed on to others. The thing that you're wanting to do, it's not here to torture you. It's because it's time for that in the collective right now. It might be a pivot, right? This might be like changing the full direction of your business, serving a different customer, sunsetting a really successful program to open a new one, right? It might just feel like crazy to do it. But it's a spiritual gift. Like you are being tapped on the shoulder by God and like, hey, it's time for you to do this new thing. Don't worry about the money you're going to lose. Don't worry about the followers you're going to lose. Don't worry about that. There's going to be new people who come. There's going to be new opportunities who come. You've just got to accept and allow this new vision to come through you so that you can pass it to other people. So when you return to the original heart of why you started this work to begin with, you're going to let life happen through you. And only good things can come from that. You are being helped and you are helping others when you get out of your own way and trust that your work in the world is a spiritual gift. It is something that comes through you. It is not yours, right? It is something that is meant to come through you to the collective, to others. And also that you receive spiritual gifts, that all of your requests for help are answered. So again, this feeling of like you're stuck in your business, you're not making the money that you used to make, you're not feeling the fulfillment you used to feel, you're not as happy, something is feeling blocked, and you're afraid to change it. You're afraid to change things because you don't want to let people down, because you don't want to lose people. Meanwhile, you're being given this nudge that it's time to go in a new direction. That is your request for help being answered. It's just not coming in the way you expect it. Source is like, hey, all of that fulfillment you were looking for, all of that joy, all of that connection, all of that next level of success, it's going to come when you follow this thing that you're afraid to follow. There is a loving benevolence to life that knows exactly what we need and how it can best come to us, even when we are not very clear on it, even when we don't entirely understand it. Source actively wants to assist you in walking your life path. That's what's being offered to you right now. That is what is going to come when you bring your focus back to the heart of why you started your work in the first place. The second you do that, the second you go, all right, fuck it. I'm letting go of thinking about what other people want and expect from me. I'm letting go of being afraid of losing followers, losing money, losing deals. I'm letting go of all of that. And I'm just going to focus back on why did I fall in love with this? Why did I care about this in the beginning? The second you do that, something is going to catch your eye. Some opportunity is going to show up. Some energy is going to capture you that lets you know exactly what your next step needs to be. And when you say yes to that, it is going to be like a slingshot. And I think that slingshot metaphor in growth is so important, right? When you think of how a slingshot works, you've got to pull way, 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 way back to shoot way forward. So if you've been in a stuck place, that's just the slingshot pulling back, baby. You're not stuck. You're gearing up for this next big stage of evolution on your path. That's what's happening. The second you say yes to let me return to the love, let me remember why I fell in love with this work in the first place. Let me just let go. Let me shut out all the external noise and re-fall in love with craft. The opportunities are going to show up. You're going to know exactly what the next step is. And you are going to feel like all the lights just turned green and all of the resources, all of the energy, all of the clients just show up for you. It will feel like magic. It will feel like a spiritual gift. Excuse me. So, how do we deal with others during this time? Power of attraction. You are a big soul. You have big dreams. And sometimes you might worry that you want too much out of life, especially if you're already successful and you're feeling stagnant. You're like, damn, am I greedy? Like everything's going good. I already have following. I already have money coming in. What do you mean now I want to change things? What do you mean now I have this new big vision? Like, am I doing the most? Do I just want too much? And this card is also amplified if you draw the card Big Bold Vision, and we did, that card is coming up. So this is a very highlighted message for us. This oracle wants you to remember there are stages of creation. A house can't be built without a foundation, right? Your big dreams in life are a work in progress, and so are you. So where you are right now is a single stage in building this huge dream. And yeah, you've had some success, but that would be like, okay, well, I got the frame of my house up. Why do I want more? Why do I want to put walls up? I'm asking for too much. Why do I want to make it beautifully decorated and paint it exactly the way I want? I'm being greedy, right? There's some block we have really to the bigness of what we're allowed to have. I feel like there's a receiving block here big time for somebody. We're hitting an upper limit on how much we feel like we're allowed to receive, how much joy, how much growth, how much success, how much fulfillment that we can't have. This is one I've heard from people, like too many things can't be going well all at the same time. There has to be some layer of dissatisfaction for us to stay relatable or for us to like be realistic or something. There's some upper limit here. So your big dreams in life are a work in progress. If you've been working on healing something within yourself or something within your business, you feel like you're getting some results, but there's part of you that's like impatient for more, or you're doubting that you can really continue to grow. This oracle comes with a reinforcement that like you're doing a really good job, and anything worthwhile takes time to build, and you're just in one stage of this building process. You're not done. You're not done. This is not it for you. You're meant to keep going. Also, you need to celebrate your successes more, even the small ones. You're so focused right now on how far you think you have to go and how much you want that you haven't accomplished yet, that you're overlooking all of the things that you have accomplished, and that's draining you. So that is also part of what's distorting your perception of yourself and your work, is like that you're not giving yourself enough credit for how far you've come and all that you've done. You're not allowing yourself. I just have this feeling of in the Osho Oracle deck, there's a card, the perspective card. It's an eagle soaring overhead. Taking this moment to give yourself a 30,000-foot view. Yeah, you've done a lot. You've built a lot. Celebrate that. That's a beautiful thing. But you've got so much more life to live. Where you are now is not the final point on the path. You've got so much more to do and so much more to build. You're just in one point right now. You need to be patient. You need to keep going, and you need to trust yourself and your vision. This oracle also comes with the message that you have recently completed a cycle or a level of manifestation, and you're transitioning into the next level of experience. That's why things feel a little off right now. You're like going from being a big fish in a small pond, and suddenly you're a smaller fish in a bigger pond. That's going to take some getting used to as you find your way. So if you're feeling stuckness or stagnation or fear, if you're thinking like maybe I should go a fully different direction, you're feeling some disconnection from your original purpose and why you started to begin with, it's actually just because you're going from being a big fish in a small pond to a smaller fish in a bigger pond. You're about to enter a new level of manifestation, and that's uncomfortable. So, what you're in the process of creating, where you're headed, is going to benefit greatly from the stage you're in right now, from this stage of your process, confusion and all. The question right now is, do you dare to dream and to believe in your dream until it manifests, even if there are naysayers who challenge you? Even if there are people who leave, even if you're going to lose some friends, some investors, some clients, some followers, can you believe in where you're headed and what you see for your own future and what you see for your own life so clearly that you're willing to allow other people to say whatever they want to say about you? That is the question right now. And because this card showed up in the place of how do we deal with other people during this time, and we have this original position of I'm spending too much time thinking about what other people think of me and what other people want from me. This is telling me that you might be right. There might be people who don't want you to change whatever this thing is in your business. There might be people who don't want you to pivot or pursue your new direction when you refocus on the heart of why you started your business to begin with. And as you start making these changes, yeah, you might lose some followers. There might be some people who don't like it. There might be some people who send you messages being like, hey, are you ever going to offer that old thing again? I really wanted it. And your job is to believe in your dream until it all the way manifests, no matter what other people say. You need to stay focused on your perception of yourself and what you want above other people's perception of you and above what other people want from you. And when you do that, this oracle says you're going to attract whatever is needed in order to bring this work in progress to fruition. Your job is just to remain open to receiving. I'll say it again, to remain open to receiving. That is the opposite of scarcity. This is the energy of scarcity. I'm so afraid of losing people. I want to do what other people want from me. I'm so afraid of letting people down. I'm so afraid of losing followers, losing money if I do the thing I really want to do. That's the energy of scarcity. The energy of receiving is I trust the unfolding of life and experience. It is not those people or no one, it's those people or everyone else. I trust that when I follow my inner pings, my inner nudges, when I follow what lights me up about my work, when I take the steps that I know inside I need to take, because that's what's going to make me happy and light me up and return me to passion in my work, all of the necessary elements are going to come together to allow this shift to occur. I'm going to attract new customers. I'm going to bring in new collaborators. I'm going to make new money. I'm going to have new opportunities. So yeah, I might lose people along the way. Of course, that's always going to happen when we grow. But you cannot be so afraid of that that you allow yourself to stay stuck. You have to be so committed to what you know is right for you and the vision that you're being given to what you want to create, to the spiritual gift that wants to move through you, that you can trust that all of these people around you, they're either going to fall in line or fall the fuck back. And either way, that's perfect. That is the gift of the moment. That's how we deal with other people right now. Who's coming with me? Jan, thank you, Jan. Who's coming with me? That's the energy. If you're coming with me, great. Thank you. If you're not coming with me, vaya con Dios, homie. Like, I love you so much. I want you to go do what's right for you, but I have to do what's right for me. And more money is coming. More fans are coming. More opportunities are coming when I stay aligned with my passion and my purpose. Anyone who doesn't like it is allowed to not like it. They get to have their own opinions. They're adults, they're sovereign beings. It is really hard to allow people to be mad at us and to hate us and to think that we have lost our way, to think that we've sold out, to not like our new direction. That is challenging. It's a hard thing to do. It is an easier said than done thing. But I'm telling you, when you just give other people all of their own thoughts, feelings, and opinions back, and you just say, yeah, you're allowed to think that, it is so freeing. That is that thing about seeing the true you. I fuck with me. I love me. I love what I'm doing. I back me. You don't have to. I got me. I break any contract of giving you the ability to approve of or reject me. Broken. No more power. You shall not pass. All right. So, what is the message from your spirit guides right now on this process? The message is visions of life beyond death. Excuse me. You are being blessed with the ability to truly see what's real rather than what appears to be. You're being given a different depth of insight. What used to feel like a big deal and very consequential, ahem, what other people think of you, is soon going to feel like it holds little consequence at all. And that's always how this happens, right? We're like so afraid if I make this move, if I do this pivot, if I announce that I'm changing things, if I retire this program that's making me money and it doesn't make sense on paper that I'm going to retire this program, everybody's going to be so mad. I'm going to lose all this money. It's going to be such a big deal. And then we do it and like, it's fine. And like we lose very little, or like so many good things happen that we're like, wow, I can't believe I held myself back out of fear for so long. That's what that experience is going to be like. It's like all this stock you were putting in what other people thought of you and whether or not they were going to stick around, whether or not they were going to unsubscribe from your email list, like you're just not going to care anymore. And things that used to feel really small are going to suddenly feel like they have great spiritual significance. So little nudges, little pings, little ideas, little nagging thoughts in the back of your head about like, maybe I need to do this that you've been shoving down. Maybe one of those is the next step of the whole next phase of your growth. The gift of genuine vision, what's truly important, what is true, brings you dead center into the role of creator. This is sacred terrain. It moves beyond logic and convention and anything limited. The more open you are to receiving true vision, the more love you're going to feel within you and around you. Things are going to appear to change form. Things are going to shed. Things are going to be lost. Things are going to die away, but that's okay. That's genuine vision. Yeah, I'm going to lose some money. I'm going to lose some followers. There's going to be a period of transition, and that's okay because there's love in that process too. Doesn't necessarily mean it won't sting. Doesn't mean that there will be no discomfort, but it will provide you a way through that allows you to accept that there is loss with growth. There is grief with growth always. It will allow you to accept and transform this situation into peace within you, to just be okay with it. Your connection to love and the truth of all that is going to move you more than anything else possibly can. So if you've been wondering about your life path, whether or not you should take action on this project or this move that you want to make. You feel like you need inspiration to move you out of a slump. This oracle, this message from your spirit guides is a message of hope. Your spirit guides want you to know you're going to receive that vision. You're going to be graced with a way out of this stagnant feeling. You're going to be able to see things differently and more accurately. Maybe that is this reading right now. Any confusion or uncertainty you have been feeling is going to pass, and you will be left with a clear insight on the move, even if it's scary. The stories you have been feeling and feeding yourself or telling yourself are, excuse me, are going to end up looking very different to how they appear now. And it may surprise you, but the vision that's coming to you is going to be more truthful, and therefore it's going to be freeing. Again, I believe because of the block card we got, this is all about returning yourself to the original heart of why you started your work to begin with, falling in love with your craft. When you do that, it's going to be like this lighthouse that just slices through all the bullshit, right? That's what love does. It just slices through all the bullshit. And you're like, oh, I've been so caught up in stuff that doesn't matter. I've been so caught up in what other people want and what other people think. But what really matters is how much I love this thing that I do, how much I love my craft, how much I love my work. And when you re-tap into that, you're going to see what your next step should be. And it's just going to like guide, it's going to light up the path for you. And when that happens, you're going to be maybe even a little embarrassed because you're going to realize like, I've been in so much bullshit, so much delusion. I've been holding myself back for so long about the truth of my situation. I've been caught up on shit that doesn't really matter. I've been letting things that really are not important hold me back. But your spirit guides want you to know that's going to pass. That's not something to beat yourself up about. That anytime we have the ability to look back and cringe on our past self, that is evidence of growth, right? That means we have grown. It signifies you're leaving that smaller view for a more expansive one. You're moving from a small pond to a bigger one. You're moving from more limited vision to bigger vision. You've outgrown your old way of seeing things into a new way of seeing things. And that is a good thing. So your ego might feel a little dented of like, man, I cannot believe I held myself back with bullshit and fear for so long, but that will pass too. Your spirit guides want you to know you are watched over by life. You are held in divine protection. Whatever has been bothering you will not be able to harm you. You will prevail. This fear that you have that when you change, when you pivot, when you do this new thing you want to do, you're going to lose everything. It's not going to happen. You're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. If you feel like something is blocking your path or it feels like there's nothing you can do to get out of this situation, your task right now is just to release that worry. You don't need to do anything about it. Just let it go. Spirit wants you to know that Source, God, life, perceives everything without exception. The universal mother is watching and guiding you at all times. You are held with justice, mercy, and wisdom at all times. Your spirit guides are also asking you to shift your perception around some particular area of concern for you right now. I don't know what it is. You will know as I'm saying this exactly what I'm talking about. You're being asked to shift your perspective around it. And if you're not sure how to do that, do this. You just ask, you just say a prayer right now in your room, wherever you are. I call upon God, Source, the universe, whatever word you want to use. I call upon Source to show me the most helpful way to see this situation of concern now. And then let it go and trust that the answer is going to show up. Because when you shift how you look at things, the energy of what is beheld changes. We already talked a lot about perception in this reading. It's not limited to how other people see you. It's also about how you see things. When you shift the energy of how you're looking at things, the situation changes. Just like when you try to shame and judge someone, they're going to behave very differently than when they're loved and encouraged. They might get the same outcome either way, but the journey is going to be very different. You are being asked to look at some situation that you're struggling with right now, whether it's this particular situation in your business or something else, or they're connected, through the eyes of love rather than the eyes of fear. If this is about your business, look at this pivot that you want to make, this change, this next level through the eyes of love rather than the eyes of fear. Stop focusing on what you're afraid you're going to lose and how other people are going to be upset at you, and look at the situation through the eyes of love. That is going to help you find your way much more quickly, easily, and enjoyably than any other path. If you weren't here at the beginning, I mentioned I had lost my voice. I keep having to pause to drink water. Okay, we're almost there. The final piece of advice for how we bring all of this into form is big, bold vision. Just straight up, you were not born to play small. You are a person who was birthed in this form in your body at this time, right now in human history, to play a big role. You were given the ability to dream big dreams. Even if you have no idea how you're going to create those dreams or what all the details are going to look like, you have them. You have big, wild dreams. The details of how they're going to unfold isn't up to you. It's up to the creative genius of the universe. You are an active contributing participant, but do not fool yourself into thinking that you alone are responsible for how it all plays out. You are not the only player in your success. You are not the only player in your life journey. There is something, a vision, an idea that is coming through you, this next phase, that as soon as you say yes to it, when you start to return to the heart of why you started your work to begin with, you're going to get a big vision for what's next. And you might worry that it is too much for you. In fact, you might have this vision already. It might be the thing that's got you all caught up. This happens a lot, right? We have this big vision and we're like, oh my gosh, that is huge. That's too big for me. I don't even know if I'm meant to do that. I don't know if that's meant to be mine. That might be too big. And then we start blaming other people for why we can't do it. I can't do it because I'll lose clients. I can't do it because I'll lose money. I can't do it because other people won't like it. I can't do it because I'm going to have to move and it's going to take me away from my friends. I can't do it because other people, right? Nah, this is meant to be yours. You wouldn't have this vision if it wasn't meant to be yours. I say all the time, our desires are not here to torture us. They are here to be sacred signposts guiding us along the life we're meant to create. So you may have to make adjustments. You may have to tweak some things. You may have growing and healing to do. You may need a coach. You may need a therapist. You may need a lot of support. You might need to hire a team. You might need to move states or countries to pull this off. But as you let go of your limited thinking and open up to accepting a bigger, more radical set of potent possibilities of how you're meant to live in the world, that's what you're meant to do. If you feel a little overwhelmed by how big your dreams are, that's a sign that you're, again, already cracking out of limited feeling or limited thinking. Like if you're not overwhelmed with how big the dream is, you're probably not thinking big enough. It's a good sign to be overwhelmed with how big the vision is, because that means your limited thinking of what's possible for you is already falling away. You're already being gifted the vision of this is the next step for you. This is where you're meant to go. Just because your immediate reaction is, oh, fuck, oh, shit, doesn't mean you're not meant to go there. As you're healing and growing, as you manifest this vision, the success that you create is going to touch the hearts of others, right? Through your presence, through your inner work, through your choices. They are going to help you, but they also benefit the collective. This is not selfish. There are people you're meant to help. There are lives you're meant to change with your work. And if you don't do the inner work you need to do to break through your limited thinking so that you can serve on a bigger level, those people are not going to receive the help that they're meant to receive. They're not going to receive the spiritual gift that was given to you to be passed along to them. It is your sacred task. I say all the time on this show, like, and in my own life and in my own business, I will not let anything stand in the way of my success, including myself. And in fact, yourself might be the only thing that can stand in the way of your success. So if you're like, I don't know how to do the thing, I have the vision, but I don't know how to do it, that's not a reason to stop. It is your sacred task to go find out how. Go get the help, invest the money, learn the skill, hire the coach. That's your job. That is your job. Why you? Because you were the person given the vision. It is now your sacred charge to get yourself the support that you need to make this thing happen so that you can bring the vision to fruition, so that it can get out into the collective where it can benefit the people. That is the work. That's what we're here to do. That is the calling that was placed on your life. It's not supposed to be easy. It will be rewarding, but it's not necessarily going to be easy. But you wouldn't be given the vision if you were not meant to do it. You wouldn't be given the desire to have the success if you were not meant to have it. Period. There are also people in your life who need to see you live this big, who need to see you live this bold life, because watching you do it is going to give them bigger, more expansive perspectives of what's possible for themselves. Again, some of these hater people, like not even necessarily hater people, but the naysayer people, the detractors, they may be, sometimes it'd be our own family, frequently it'd be our own family, our own friends, the people who know us from before who are like in their own limited thinking and they're like, that's not possible, right? They project their fears onto us, they project their limitations onto us. And sometimes we want to hold ourselves back so we can stay connected to them. We think we're doing them a favor. We're not, because when what's going on really is they've never seen anyone do it before. So if they get to see you do it and they go, wow, now I do know someone who's done that. You pulled that off. So maybe it is possible. You being successful in this way, you living this big, bold life gives other people a bigger, more expansive perspective of what's possible in the world and what's possible for themselves. It is beneficial for others for you to say yes to this work. This is about letting go and opening up to life. Other people are going to benefit from this. So yes, it's about you and what you want and your happiness and your fulfillment and your success and your money. Yes, of course, it's about that. It's about how much you're allowing yourself to receive. It's about how good things can really get for you. But that's not just about you, because the vehicle for it is the way that you help others. And watching you do it is going to help others. You're being asked to remember that when something is right, when you're on the right path, endless synchronicities and support are flowing your way in the right time and in the right way. So if what you're experiencing right now is stuckness, stagnation, the feeling of all red lights, the feeling of everywhere you turn, nothing is working out for you, then you're on the wrong path. Because when we're on the right path, it's all green lights. The synchronicities, the support flow your way. Your job is to stay open, receptive, playful, and surrendered. Open, receptive, playful, and surrendered sounds real nice, but what that really looks like is submitting to being in the unknown, which is incredibly uncomfortable, especially during Virgo season where we want a place for everything and everything in its place. Your job is to stay open, receptive, playful, and surrendered to how life wants to move through you right now, to let people fall away and come to you in accordance with divine plan. So you either right now are already receiving this big vision of what's next for you, or you're about to. No matter how all of this unfolds, and please believe there will be some twists and turns and difficulties along the way. That's always how things work. It's not just like once we're on the right path, it's all sunshine and rainbows. There's going to be challenges. There's going to be next levels of growth, new level, new devil, mo money, mo problems. You need to be open to it. Trust your heart. Trust the choices that you're making. Trust your intuition. And when the time feels right for you to make moves, make the damn moves. Trust in what you perceive, even if it conflicts with what everyone else around you is saying, even if it doesn't make sense on the surface. Trust your inner perceptions. They are accurate, and they will be proven so later on when you succeed. In general, this is a message of positive energy, Again, trust comes up. You've got to trust that everything is going to work out for you, even if it feels way too big, even if it feels like it's kind of a mess right now. That's just the essential mess before truly spectacular success. I don't know who this reading is for, but I hope it was for you. So finally, our shadow work for the season. What do we need to do? We need to go into the void. The void can be deeply uncomfortable, especially my type A people. We like control. We want to know how everything's going to go. I want to be able to understand every single step of exactly how it's all going to work out. I want guaranteed success. I want to know where I'm headed next. It's very uncomfortable to be in the void, the space in between. We might feel right now like this work that we were once so passionate about feels a little lost to us right now, feels a little cold, feels a little distant. We might not already have the big, bold vision of what's next. We might not be able to see or sense anything about what's next. We just know that like it's not feeling good anymore. It's not feeling right. It's not lighting us up. We can enter a void when we feel like what we have known is not what we thought it was, right? I started this business because I thought it was going to make me feel XYZ, and now I'm here and it doesn't feel like that at all. And now I feel lost. This is really reconfirming for me the idea that the person this reading is for, you've already seen some success. And now that you've gotten there, it just doesn't feel like what you thought it was going to feel like. You thought you were going to get here and be like smooth sailing forever. And you're here and now you're like, well, what's next? I feel a little dissatisfied. I want something bigger. I want something different. I don't feel the same passion. And it's because you've gotten disconnected from why you started in the first place. You may be in a time where you're just questioning everything, questioning your significance in the world, questioning why you started this business. And you may have an instinct to fill this empty space inside with keeping yourself busy all the time, going through the motions, packing your calendar, doing all the work, hoping that it just comes back to distract yourself from how uncomfortable it feels. It is uncomfortable to be in the in-between. And because it's uncomfortable, you might miss some of the lessons of the void. We are taught to constantly push forward, that we're always supposed to know what's next, but the void teaches us to be still and teaches us to be okay with not knowing, okay with uncertainty. We're not meant to be in summer forever. We need fall. We need winter. Trying to escape empty space ensures that we stay here longer, we stay stuck longer, or we come back to the stuckness sooner than we want to. So rather than trying to fill up the emptiness with busyness, you need to remind yourself that the emptiness is a prayer. Your shadow work for Virgo season is to let yourself sit with not knowing exactly what's coming next, not having a very clear vision on what it's all going to look like or what all the steps are. Just to return to the heart of why you started your work in the first place. Re-fall in love with why you went into this to begin with. And from this new starting point, let the vision unfold. Let the next step, then the next step, then the next step unfold. If you're driving from California to New York in your car, your headlights don't shine from California to New York. You can only see the next couple hundred feet in front of your car, but the road just unfolds like that, a few hundred feet at a time, and you're gonna make it. You don't need to be in such a rush to know everything. Give yourself permission to sit in the unknown, no matter how uncomfortable it is. And when you see the next step, take it. But don't be in a hurry. Let yourself sit. If the vision hasn't come to you yet, your job is to focus on returning to the love, returning to the fun, re-find the passion and the spark, and then let yourself wait for instructions from within on what to do next. That's your reading. I hope that this was beneficial for you. I would love to hear your thoughts. If you're listening on the podcast, you can email me intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. If you're watching on Instagram, you can comment below. You can DM me. If you're watching on YouTube, you can leave your comments in the box below. Thank you so much for being with me. Okay, love you. Bye.